gets it back, but Alyssa Thomas picks her pocket. AT streaks in. And Fee still on the floor. Cheryl Reeve and the rest of her staff streaking onto the floor. And Cheryl Reeve has been ejected. Reeve had picked up a technical foul back in the second quarter, and this is a no-doubter.
The WNBA delivered a shocker nobody anticipated. Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve is suspended for playoff Game 4 after criticizing the referees and the league. Supporters are enraged, and speculation about the potential finals matchup is intensifying. Did the league go too far with this suspension? Coming up on SportsCenter, Cheryl Reeve talks about this and much more. All right, let's get into it. The WNBA has chosen to suspend Cheryl Reeve, among the league's most accomplished coaches, during a crucial playoff series. Let's be perfectly clear here. This has nothing to do with player safety or enforcing the rules. It's all about appearances, egos, and the league's fixation on guarding its reputation over solving actual problems. The league's official statement claimed Reeve aggressively chased and verbally berated an official on the court, didn't exit promptly post-ejection, and made improper remarks to fans and in the post-game press conference.
New on SportsCenter, Cheryl Reeve discusses that and a lot more.
Who was it that asked about officiating before the game? Is that you, Kendra? And we talked about how dangerous it can be. You're hearing it from the other series. You're hearing other coaches. You're hearing Becky talk about when you let the physicality happen, people get hurt, there's fights, and this is the look that our league wants.
So here we go. The WNBA decided to suspend Cheryl Reeve, one of the most decorated coaches in the league, right in the middle of a playoff series. And let's not sugarcoat this. This isn't about player safety or rules enforcement. This is about optics, egos, and the league's constant obsession with protecting its own image instead of addressing real issues.
What does that mean? She exposed the refs for something the entire arena witnessed, a total refereeing failure that resulted in Nafessa Collier limping off the court from constant no calls. And get this, supporters were not even surprised by Reeve's reaction. They were in agreement, because frankly, this league's officiating has been a disgrace all season long. Caitlin Clark gets mauled on her way to the hoop with no calls. Sophie Cunningham is pushed into the basket support and told to keep playing. Alyssa Thomas practically earns her keep by shoving opponents with two hands as if she's trying out for the NFL. And the officials? Silence. So when Cheryl Reeve finally lost it and erupted, it was not just a random outburst. It was the culmination of months of bottled-up frustration, and the league didn't respond by conceding that perhaps their officiating crews should be held accountable. Instead, their reaction was to suspend the one coach who dared to call attention to it. Just terrible. This is how the WNBA consistently undermines its own effort. They profess a desire for the game's growth. They say they want to be taken seriously by fans. However, when a highly respected coach points out a clear issue, their initial reaction is to punish instead of problem solve. And the fans saw it. Believe me, they saw it. Hours after the suspension was announced, social media erupted with furious posts. Some came to Reeve's direct defense. Others criticized the league for once again pushing its fan base away. Then the polls appeared. A fan poll of almost 500 people posed the question, will you watch the finals if it is the Aces against the Mercury? The resounding response, no, the fans are not interested.
It's bad for the game. The officiating crew that we had tonight, for the leadership to deem those three people
But I am demanding a leadership change within the league concerning the officials, and that is precisely the league's worst-case scenario. Let's analyze this. The WNBA has a small number of players who genuinely capture national attention. Caitlin Clark is undoubtedly the most significant one. She drives ratings, sells the tickets, and grabs the headlines. Then you have names such as Angel Reese, Paige Buckers upon her arrival, Nafessa Collier, and Sophie Cunningham. These are the individuals that casual fans can relate to. These are the players who attract viewers beyond the dedicated fan base. Now consider who remains in the playoffs. Clark is out, Collier is out, Sophie's out, and Paige isn't here yet. Angel Reese is away on holiday after imploding her own team's chemistry. And now the league is set to force a Phoenix Mercury versus Las Vegas Aces finals matchup on everyone. It would be impossible to imagine a more uninteresting matchup. The Aces are loaded with talent, but their appeal has faded for fans beyond Las Vegas. A'ja Wilson is a phenomenal player, unquestionably, yet her continuous self-promotion and demeanor have alienated a significant portion of the fan base. And the Mercury, a team that's been floundering since Diana Taurasi's retirement and Brittany Griner's move to a reserve role. They aren't captivating, they aren't cherished, and the prospect of them facing off in the finals has many people publicly saying they'll pass. Now for the part that truly reveals the league's position. Just picture if Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever were in this situation. Picture a Fever vs. Aces series with Clark against Wilson. That would mean a ratings increase of over 1 million viewers, effortlessly. That would mean sold-out arenas across the country. It's a finals that would generate positive buzz for women's basketball, rather than mockery. But the WNBA has arranged the most unappealing finals imaginable and suspended one of its most celebrated coaches. This goes beyond mere incompetence. It's the active sabotage of their product.
Finals playoff worthy is malpractice. I can take an L with the best of them. I don't think we should have to play through more than what they did. We got players. I think it's crap, and there's no call. And all of them said it wasn't my call. I don't know. I didn't have that. I didn't see it that awful.
And let's not forget the context surrounding Cheryl Reeve. She isn't just some impulsive rookie coach. We're talking about a 4-time WNBA champion, an Olympic coach, and one of the most esteemed basketball intellects in the game. A figure of that stature is not suspended casually. Doing so sends a clear message. Nobody is more important than the league's delicate public relations. But this is where it gets sarcastic. Because do you know the league's perspective? They believe this drama is beneficial. They truly feel that suspending Reeve, generating headlines, and feigning protection for officials gives them an appearance of strength. They believe fans enjoy this turmoil, but the fans are more intelligent than that. They perceive the real motive. They understand the league is creating a distraction from its terrible officiating and already damaged playoff product. Let's review the events of that Lynx-Mercury game. Collier was taking a beating on every single possession. Obvious contact, obvious fouls, but no calls were made. Late in the game, she falls, holding her ankle as fans begin to expect the worst, possibly a fracture. Reeve snaps. She confronts the officials, calls them out. Then in her presser, she essentially tears into Kathy Engelbert and the WNBA for allowing this to persist. And frankly, she had a point. Now she is the one facing consequences. Meanwhile, Alyssa Thomas can elbow opponents in the chest and push them in the back, and it's called physicality. A'ja Wilson can argue with refs all game, no technicals. Becky Hammon can slam the league in interviews, no suspension. But Cheryl Reeve, suspended for having the nerve to voice what fans have been shouting for months. It's this lack of consistency that drives fans away. If you aim to be a major league, you must apply the rules equally to all. The WNBA, however, is selectively deciding who faces punishment and who is let off the hook. To be direct, it seems like they are protecting their desired narratives. If Minnesota moves on, there's a smaller chance of the Aces easily winning another title, and the league is desperate to have the Aces reach the finals. The reason? Vegas brings money. Vegas brings visibility. Vegas is glamorous. However, Vegas alone doesn't pull in ratings. They only get viewers when their opponent is interesting, and at this moment, no one interesting is left. This is why the fans are irate. They see a finals that is destined to fail. They know a matchup they find uninteresting will be forced on them. And Cheryl Reeve's suspension only highlights that the league prioritizes narrative control over quality basketball. And for the most absurd part, the NBA Referees Union, you heard that right, the NBA refs, issued a statement defending the no call in that Lynx game. Their statement said, "It was not a foul. This just escalated the problem. Because if that is not a foul, then what good is the rule book? You can't just shove a player in midair, create major contact, and claim it's clean defense. If that is the new standard, just get rid of the rulebook entirely." This is the reason fans scoff when the WNBA is compared to the NBA. In the NBA, a suspension like this would create a major scandal. Adam Silver would have to provide answers. The refs would face scrutiny. The coach would be fined, yes. But suspended in the middle of a playoff series, inconceivable. In the WNBA, though, it's just another day. This leads us back to the poll. With almost 500 responses, a huge majority stated they would not watch a Mercury-Aces finals. Consider that. Your product is already finding it hard to gain mainstream attention. You have only 2 or 3 storylines with the potential to make an impact. And rather than capitalizing on them, you're presenting a matchup fans reject while muzzling the coach who pointed out the issues. It is a masterclass in self-sabotage.
We were trying to play through it. We tried to make excuses. One of the best players in the league shot 0 free throws. 0. And she had 5 fouls. 0 free throws. Got her shoulder pulled out and finished the game with her leg being taken out and probably has a fracture. And so if this is what our league wants, okay.
Let's examine one more aspect. The league is always discussing game growth. They mention TV contracts, sponsorships, and getting more exposure. Do you really think ESPN is excited to promote a Mercury versus Aces series? Do you believe sponsors are eager for that matchup? No, they were hoping for Caitlin Clark. They were hoping for the fever. They wanted the excitement of new stars challenging the reigning champs. What they'll get is a boring series that even dedicated fans are dismissing, and the league brought this on itself. Now to delve deeper, the Cheryl Reeve suspension is not just about a coach's outburst. It highlights a league-wide issue of credibility that has been worsening for years. For months, fans have voiced complaints about the officiating, and this isn't limited to Fever fans who are loyal to Caitlin Clark. This includes fans of the Lynx, Sun, Sky, and even the Aces sometimes. Everyone sees that calls are erratic, that physical play is overlooked selectively, and that some players seem to get special treatment. So when Cheryl Reeve finally erupted, she wasn't only speaking for herself, she was voicing the sentiment of the whole fan base. She verbalized what thousands of ticket buyers have been yelling at home. Are these referees watching the same game? And rather than heeding this, the WNBA responded with a suspension. That is the message the league has just broadcast. Do not challenge authority. Do not insist on accountability. Be quiet and continue playing. And any coach who crosses the line, remove. I want to remind you who we are discussing. Cheryl Reeve is not a random assistant who got lucky. She is a champion 4 times over. She is Team USA's head coach. For more than a decade, she has been a prominent figure in this league, and she is now being handled like an expendable issue for embarrassing the league. That is not what leadership is. It is insecurity. The timing of this makes it even more questionable. The Lynx were facing potential elimination. Their top player, Nafessa Collier, is injured. The officiating allowed Alyssa Thomas to play with extreme aggression, and now their coach is out for Game 4. If your goal was to hand the Mercury a strategic advantage, this is the precise way to do it. The fans saw that as well. This takes us back to the finals outlook because, truthfully, the WNBA is pushing hard for a Las Vegas appearance. The Aces are exciting. They have significant financial backing in Vegas. They feature stars like Asia Wilson and Chelsea Gray. Marketing them is simple, but they are not widely popular, and the Mercury, no one outside of Phoenix is invested. That is the plain truth. So what's the implication? It means the league is heading for a finals that the fans have clearly stated they do not want. The proof is undeniable. That Twitter poll with almost 500 responses was damning. The majority stated unequivocally, no, I will not be watching Aces versus Mercury. And that isn't just an isolated opinion. It's the general feeling in comment sections, on podcasts, and at fan gatherings. Content creators who drew large audiences for Fever games have seen their viewership drop by half. Live streams that once had 5,000 viewers when Clark played now struggle to get 2,000. And the league's strategy: suspend a coach and hope the resulting drama attracts interest. Spoiler alert, it will not. Because this is the harsh reality. Not every kind of publicity is beneficial. The WNBA's leadership appears to believe that controversy leads to attention, which leads to growth, but that's not how sports work. Controversy is effective when fans are already passionate about the product. When the product itself is unstable, controversy just makes you seem disorganized. Consider this. The NBA deals with controversies constantly. Officials miss calls, coaches are ejected, and stars trade words. But do you know why the NBA weathers it? Because its fundamental product is solid. People still enjoy watching the world's best players compete. The controversy is merely extra flavor on an excellent meal. The WNBA, currently the controversy is the whole meal, and fans have had enough. They didn't tune in to see coaches get suspended, stars get hurt, and finals matchups no one wanted. They tuned in to see Caitlin Clark shoot from deep, Nafessa Collier carry her team, and Sophie Cunningham ignite a rally with her effort. They wanted competition, not internal politics. But rather than focusing on providing high-quality basketball, the league is preoccupied with its messaging. Kathy Engelbert manages the WNBA as if it were a PR agency. The focus is on optics, advertising, and brand protection, and that is how we arrived at this mess. Because prioritizing your image over the game's integrity leads to losing your fan base. Let's discuss officiating again, as it's the core issue here. The NBA refs declared that the play involving Collier was not a foul. Just think about how absurd that is. A player endures significant contact, falls clutching her ankle, and the league's position is no, it was clean. If that is considered clean, the WNBA should just discard the rulebook and permit players to body slam one another. At least then the audience would know what to expect. As of now, the league is in a state of confusion. They promote skill and technique, but allow games to become chaotic brawls. They seek respect, but won't acknowledge their officials' mistakes. They aim to expand the game, but penalize those who highlight its clear flaws. This isn't growth, it's self-destruction, and that is why the Cheryl Reeve suspension was so impactful. It demonstrates to everyone that the league is more concerned with stifling criticism than with resolving problems. Fans have no respect for that. Players have no respect for that, and soon sponsors will lose respect for it too. The WNBA sought drama, and it has found it. Cheryl Reeve is suspended, fans are spurning the finals, and the league's credibility is repeatedly damaged. Eventually, a decision must be made. Is protecting their image more important than growing the game? Leave your opinions in the comments. Click the like button and subscribe for more analysis.